guys, welcome back to Bellyacre's Kitchen. You guys, we are going to go Cinco de Mayo. So at school we are celebrating Cinco de Mayo tomorrow, which is actually Cuatro de Mayo because tomorrow is May 4th when I'm recording this. So, but right now we are only going on 4-day weeks at school. We are at the end of the school year. Praise Jesus. It's been a year, and this week and last week in particular, it's been state testing. Those of you that know, I work at a middle school, so it's been pretty hectic. But plus all the kids are feeling spring, let me tell you. So tomorrow we are celebrating Cinco de Mayo at school. So I thought I would incorporate what I'm making to take there for lunch tomorrow, along with what I'm going to make for supper tonight. So to take to the school, I am going to make some Spanish rice. I've got all of my ingredients here, and I am also going to make some avocado salsa. And then for here at home, I'm also making some tacos al pastor. I found this at our local Homeland, and it's already seasoned, already chopped up. It's pork. And I'm curious. I want to see how it tastes, and so it was on sale. Thought I'd pick it up. So I'm gonna go ahead and make some of these tacos tonight for our supper, and then I'm gonna make the rice to go along with our tacos. But I will also take some to school tomorrow for our Cinco de Mayo party. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get started with the salsa, getting the stuff ready for the salsa, because I need to boil the tomatillos and the jalapeños. So I'm gonna go ahead and unwrap these tomatillos, get them in the pot, get them rinsed off, and get them in the pot to start boiling, and get these start boiling too, and then we'll start preparing the rice. I had Rusty go to town, or when he was in town, pick me up some tomatillos, and he did an amazing job picking out some really big, nice tomatillos. I have still yet to have any luck growing tomatillos. I don't know what I'm doing wrong, but they just don't tend to grow for me. So I am taking the husks off and then also picking the stem out of them. It's usually pretty easy to just kind of pull those out. With tomatillos, if you've never tried a tomatillo, they are very tart, kind of like a green tomato. So the more tomatillos you have in your salsa, the more tart it's gonna be. But now I've got these peeled and stemmed. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse these off and put them in my pot. All right, tomatillos do tend to have a sticky residue, so I do try to wash them off rather than just rinsing them. All right, I don't want to make this salsa super hot. I'm only going to put 3 jalapeños in it. I'm just going to set those in my pot. I'm going to go ahead and take those stems right off of there, and those also pick off pretty easy. I'm going to go ahead and fill my pot with water and get it on the stove. All right, so I have that on medium, probably medium high. I'm just gonna let those start to boil while I get the rice ready. All right, so for my rice, I'm just using regular long grain white rice. Not the healthiest choice, but when making Mexican rice or Spanish rice, it is the better choice, the more authentic choice. So I'm going to fill my sieve here because I need to make quite a bit of rice, because I'm making this for both here at home and at work. So rule of thumb when you're making rice, it's usually 1 cup of rice to 2 cups of water when you're making it. But with Spanish rice, we are going to fry it first, and then you're going to add in your water and your seasoning as you go. So I'm just going to eyeball it. I do use a sieve, dry rice, and then I rinse the rice really well because I want my rice to be flaky and not clumped together. All right, so I am using cold water, and I'm just going to kind of rinse it till that water underneath kind of comes out clear. Basically just taking all of the starch off the outside of it. I am using cold water because I don't want my rice to start to swell. So it is cold water, and I am finding that I need a bigger sieve because I am spilling rice into the sink. So kind of showing that water. Okay, I'm gonna let this rice drain while I get the pan and the oil ready. All right, so I started out thinking I was going to use this pan, but I'm looking at this and thinking that is definitely not going to fit. Okay, I opted for my 12-inch cast iron skillet. I'm gonna go ahead and add some oil to that. So I want just enough oil to cover the bottom. There we go. I'm gonna let that heat up. Heating, I'm gonna go ahead and get my onion ready for my salsa. Oops. And this doesn't have to be anything fancy because it's going right into my Ninja blender. Just quartered that half. So I guess it's cutting it in eighths, right? An onion in an eighth. Sorry, we've been state testing. All this math stuff's fresh in my brain. So quartered the other half, and I'm just putting it right into my blender. And then when we went to Sam's, we bought that bag of already peeled garlic. So I set some of that out to thaw, so because I had it frozen. Just gonna throw those in there. And then I think my oil should be warm enough now. I'm gonna go ahead and put my rice in there. Okay, so now that my oil is nice and heated, I'm gonna throw my drained rice right in there. And then I'm going to start moving it around a little, kind of get it flat on the bottom. I'm gonna let that fry on that side, and then I'll come and move it over. Meanwhile, let's go ahead and get the peppers ready that are gonna go in this rice. All right, so let me get my chicken scratch pan here. All of the extras from the vegetables goes right in this bowl, and it goes out to my chickens here in just a little bit. So normally I put bell peppers in the rice. I have some sweet peppers. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse these off and get them cut up, so then that way they can go in the rice. So I'm just gonna cut the end off of it cut it in half, take the veins out, and then I'm just going to kind of cut some strips like this. I like to leave big pieces of pepper in the rice. That way, if someone who does not like the texture or just does not like the peppers, they can just kind of pick them out or just serve around them. If you dice it up or cut it too small, then people are kind of forced to eat it. And I think it's just kind of the flavor from it that I'm wanting for the rice, not so much the peppers themselves. So these are a little bit sweeter than the bell peppers. So it'll just give it a little bit sweeter taste. And again, I could salvage the ends here and cut the ends off, but I don't want to put small pieces of pepper in the rice in case somebody doesn't like that. They can take the peppers out. Okay, so there, those are ready. I might cut those in half again. Just kind of some big pieces to go in there. All right, so you can kind of see when your rice is rinsed really well. You can see how it's not really clumping together even right at this point in the cooking process, and it kind of feels like almost like glass when you're scraping it off the bottom. It wants to stick together like in a plate fashion, not in a clump. So just we're just gonna kind of move that around, make sure that it's all getting brown. So while that rice is getting a little bit more of its fry on, I'm gonna go ahead and see if any of these avocados are ripe enough to make my avocado salsa. This one does feel a little bit ripe, and maybe this one, that end came off pretty easy. These feel a little bit hard yet, and see how this one, that end is not even pressed up yet to be able to take it off. I'm gonna say that's a no. This one, I mean, they're all gonna be questionable. Rusty did the best he could to find ripe avocados. It's hard. I try to buy avocados a day or two before I'm going to make something usually, but it was kind of last minute decision on making this salsa, so we're gonna have to do the best we can here. This one feels pretty hard. That one doesn't even want to come out, so that tells you how crazy hard those are. We're gonna hope for the best, guys. All right, so my rice was kind of whistling at me, so I knew it was kind of starting to get hot. You don't want it to get too hot. It will puff. You've seen puffed rice. It will do that if it gets too hot. But we did get a good color on the bottom of that. I'm going to go ahead and grab some water. Look at that color. All right, so we want to stand back. I'm using this measuring cup that I drained the rice in, so there is a little bit of rice in the bottom of it. You just pour that in so it covers that rice nicely. Just kind of push that around. And I usually go ahead and put my seasonings in now. Okay. So a little bit of garlic powder. I put cumin in it. Put chili powder in it. Ooh. And then I put some of this caldo de tomate. And I don't put salt and pepper in it because this is very salty. It's bouillon. Give that a good stir. Getting that color. It's beautiful. Then I throw my peppers in because I want them to get good and tender. And I let that come to a boil, and then I will cover it and lower the temperature and simmer it. Speaking of boil, these are boiling very nicely. Turn that over a little bit so I can get on the other side. But my tomatillos, I don't want them to fall apart, so I'm just gonna leave it for a little bit longer. All right, you guys, bad news. These avocados are not near ripe enough. I'm afraid they're just gonna give it a really bad taste if I try to put those in there. So we're just gonna switch to a salsa verde. All right, you guys, for this salsa verde, I'm just going to put my tomatillos in here with my onion and garlic. Drop those in there, and I'm dropping the jalapeños also. Just going to kind of push stuff down. Push everything down. Now, so that this will work well, we do want to go ahead and put a little bit of the water. Not very much, but a little bit. Try not to make as big of a mess as I just did. And then we are going to add a tablespoon of the caldo con sabor de pollo. So it's just, it is chicken bouillon. This stuff actually has other seasonings also, which I think chicken bouillon does too. And then we're going to add some lime juice. Like normally I would say we need to have fresh lime, but man, limes are expensive. So they'll get better as the summer progresses. They will get cheaper, but right now we're just gonna add some lime juice. And remember those tomatillos, they're pretty tart as well. So just keep that in mind when you are adding the lime juice. Oh, and then like I said, like before, I'm not going to add any salt because the bouillon has a lot of salt in it. Forgot to show you guys that this had begun to boil, so I have lowered the temperature, and then I'm just covering it and letting that rice finish cooking. All right, so this green salsa is looking really yummy, or salsa verde. I'm gonna go ahead and taste that. That is very good. It's not too spicy. It's a little bit tangy. I might add a little bit of salt once I pour it into a bowl or into a jar. But for the most part, pretty darn good, even without the avocado. Just gotta roll with the punches, right? pretty good salsa. All right, you guys, so I turned this off. You look here, look how flaky this is. It's not clumpy at all. And I'm gonna go ahead and try this and make sure that all my spices are there. Very hot. It's perfect, and it's the perfect texture. So it's just very flaky, and I like that. I mean, in my rice, not in my friends. Haha. All right, so I've got just a flour tortilla, and like I said, this meat, I bought it at the store. It actually tastes pretty good. I'm making this one for Rusty, so I'm gonna kind of put some rice right here. You can add tomato to that. Instead of the tomato bouillon, you get a little bit more of a richer red color, but I really like the bouillon. Do you want cheese?
Please.
Do you want some salsa verde?
Absolutely.
Okay. Add some salsa verde. It's kind of spicy.
All right.
That enough?
Perfect.
And do you want some sour cream?
Yes, please.
I mixed it up. I mean, I stirred it. So. Okay. So there we go. We're gonna let Rusty try this out.
Okay, we'll try the rice first. The flavors are there, baby.
Good.
Try out this chicken taco.
It's a pork taco.
That's pretty good.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty good for a prepackaged, already flavored, marinated meat. So it might be something that we can go with, you know, for a quick night. So.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, so there you have it. It is, you know, we kind of had to change plans right in the middle of it, but it's fine. There's the Spanish rice and some salsa verde. I hope you guys like my recipes. I mean, I don't really measure, but, you know, you guys see the way it goes, so. I hope you guys like this channel. If you do, please hit the like button, subscribe, share with your friends. If you guys are not already following us on Robertson's Belly Acres, go over there and check that out, because we have big things going on over there. We just bought a house in 20 acres that we are in the middle of remodeling. It's awesome. I'm hoping to take you guys along when we do the kitchen remodel. So, I mean, for part of it. So leave us some comments for sure. Leave comments. Let me know what you think of this recipe, even though we had to switch in the middle of it. Roll with the punches. And happy Cinco de Mayo, which it'll be after. By the time you guys see this, it'll be the day after by the time you guys see this. So until next time, you guys, God bless.